Welcome, it's Barbara Rose. I am so happy that you are here right now to watch this really super life-changing, important video. Your immediate solutions and transformation if you're really upset. I want to give you some background so you know where I'm coming from. In 1994, a very highly spiritually involved man named Bill Burns told me that I was going to be bringing through information and answers from God to uplift the spiritual consciousness of humanity. I looked at him and I said, why would God want to speak to me? I'm not the Dalai Lama or Mother Teresa. And he said, you can't understand or relate to this now, but you will see that one day in your writing and in speech, you will be bringing through answers to uplift humanity. Well, I was an actress at the time, and the whole thing went over my head. I had no clue what he meant. He didn't tell me how I was going to receive answers from God. And I thought that it was impossible. I didn't think people can receive answers directly from God unless you were as like a central religious figure. So in 1996, I was slammed by my ex-husband with a very brutal, unwarranted, unjust child custody litigation. And I have to honestly admit, the most loving mom in the universe. And it was totally unwarranted. He handed his attorney $250,000 and said, get me custody of my children. He didn't want to pay child support. I did not have the money at the time to hire an attorney to represent me throughout the whole litigation process. So as a result, I was completely railroaded. If you don't have legal representation, typically you're railroaded. And I was given visitation rights to see my children. And at the time, they were 6 and 7 years old. So when I was given visitation rights, the perspective in my mind at the time was that I, quote, lost my children because I couldn't sing them their lullabies at night, When You Wish Upon a Star and Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I couldn't read them their bedtime stories because they were living with their dad and I had every other weekend visitation and holiday visitation. So for 2 solid years, from 1996 to 1998, I had a complete meltdown. I was walking around like a breathing corpse. I couldn't function. All I wanted to do was die. I thought my whole perspective in my mind was that I lost my children because I couldn't hold them every day and give them a kiss every morning and wake them up and take them to school and give them a hug before they go to bed at night and make the dinner and do all those things. My soul was shattered. My heart was completely crushed. I couldn't even function. So for 2 solid years, I was just literally praying to die. And then one day in 1998, I decided, let me see if what Bill told me actually works. Let me see if it's even possible to get an answer from God. So I took out a pen and paper and I just wrote down a question. I wrote, Dear God, why did you let me lose my children? And then words started flowing into my mind in the form of an answer that I wrote down with pen and paper. And I'll remember the answer forever. God told me, you did not, quote, lose your children. You are merely sharing for the physical care of them with their father. You can see them. I did have visitation rights. You can speak to them. I did call them every day. They're in your life. They're close to you. Please shift your view from, quote, loss to, quote, sharing. Well, when I reread what I brought through in pen and paper, I was like, oh my God, God is right. I didn't lose my children. I really am sharing for the physical care of them with their father. I actually had shared custody, but at the time I viewed it that I lost them. And when I read those answers that I received within a few minutes, it completely transformed my entire mindset. I went from praying to die every single night to having a whole new lease on life within 5 minutes because God gave me the higher perspective. So the suffering stopped. And I decided to just restart my life, make the best of the situation, and then move forward in the most positive way. But I almost committed suicide prior to that writing. And there are millions and millions and millions of people globally who are very upset right now. All kinds of conditions are happening in our lives. Pandemic, businesses failing, people losing their homes, their cars, all kinds of things are going on, and our lives are kind of turned upside down. Not everybody's, but a lot of people. So when you're really upset, take out from the bottom of your heart and soul, just take out a pen and paper, and whatever name you want to give to the higher source of love, wisdom, and truth in the universe is perfectly fine. You don't have to say God. You could say higher self, Holy Spirit, Christ consciousness, heart light, love light. Well, I mean, everyone has their own personal name that they give to the higher source of love, wisdom, and truth in the universe, and that's perfectly fine. You can just call it your higher consciousness, higher self communication. It's perfectly fine. And you just write down your question from the bottom of your heart, because God knows exactly what's happening in your life. And until we turn to the higher source of love, wisdom, and truth in the universe, that's when we will receive the higher perspective that will shift our paradigm. It'll shift our view of our whole situation, give us answers, solutions, and most of all, transformation immediately. I want you to have immediate transformation if you are really upset, because you don't have to be. If I would have done that writing in 1996, I wouldn't have spent 2 years praying to die every single night and getting more and more angry every day when I woke up alive. I would have had a whole new lease on life 24 months earlier. So all you need to receive higher answers is the connection in the deepest part of your heart that you dearly, deeply desire an answer, solution, and transformation for your current circumstances, and you are going to receive them. All you do is take out a pen and paper, write down your question. There's no formal wording. Just write it from the bottom of your heart. God knows exactly what you're going through, so you don't have to explain the situation. Take a few deep breaths, and you're going to notice words flowing into your mind. And when they do, you write them down. Now, if for any reason, if you can't handwrite, you can record the answers. Just close your eyes. And as the words flow into your mind, you can speak them into a recording device so that you can re-listen to the answers once they come to a final finish and you stop the recording. You can play back and listen to the answers you received. I had to learn how to love myself. I had to learn how to have high self-esteem. There was a lot of transformation that I needed to make in my life. My life has not been easy. It's been a tough life. And all of the transformation, all of the growth, all of the books I brought through, they all came through me from God. Stop being a string along. I was crying in September of 2004, crying in my bed over a relationship that was going nowhere for 4 years. And the book, Stop Being a String Along, poured through me while I was crying. The whole book just poured through me in writing. And that book changed my life in the relationship area about being in a string along relationship. So no matter what area of your life you are upset about, I want you to have the immediate solution and transformation today, tonight, now, right after you watch this video. And there's no special ability. This process is already built into you. It's your sixth sense. So we were lied to growing up in school. We were taught we have 5 senses. Not true. We have 6 senses. Your sixth sense is your gut instincts, your intuition, that still small voice that guides you from within your mind of go here or go there or call this person or do this or don't do that or don't go out tonight, it's raining. Whatever the inner guidance is, we all get inner guidance. That's coming from God. So just know that God has you covered. You're going to receive the answers and the solutions and the transformation to whatever is going on in your life now and at any time you need it for the rest of your life. You could be upset because you're trying to invent something. And like Thomas Edison actually used this process of receiving answers from God for inventing the light bulb. He called it infinite intelligence. So God is infinite intelligence. So you could be trying to invent something and you just need that missing piece and you're going to receive it. So it doesn't have to be that you're shattered, but many people are shattered. So you can utilize this for any area of your life where you are lacking an inner peace and you need a solution and you need transformation. You're going to receive it. I welcome you to join the new Facebook group. It's called Life Changing Answers from God. Just so I can help you go over your writings, share with you this non-denominational process, answer any questions you have. Please post your questions below this video if you have them. Subscribe to this channel so that you can get notifications. If you click on the bell and receive notifications, you'll get notifications when I upload a new video each week. And it is my deepest, deepest hope from the bottom of my heart and soul that you actually today, tonight, tomorrow morning, whenever you're ready, you take out that pen and paper and you write your question from the bottom of your heart and soul because it means so much to you. And the energy in your heart is what activates the connection to God. This is not an intellectual process, so don't intellectualize it. Don't even doubt, worry, fear, or how can I get answers? You're going to get answers because you want them from the bottom of your heart and soul. So you're going to receive them. I promise you, you're going to receive them. I have been teaching this process to humanity for 20 years, reaching 191 countries. This is spread globally by word of mouth. And people's suicides were deterred. My suicide was deterred. So many people have received answers that completely transform their life in minutes. So the suffering is now stopping. The transformation is here at hand. It's your time to receive answers. It's your birthright to receive them. You're always connected to God, Source, Creator, Higher Self, Infinite Intelligence, whatever name you want to give. And you are loved beyond measure. So your transformation is now in hand. And I really, really, really want to hear from you in the comments below. If you did this process and you received answers that transformed your life, because that's going to also help other people who want to see, does this really work? And if you are interested in reading more about this, there are 2 books that I have on Amazon. If God Hears Me, I Want an Answer. That's more of a very spiritual read. It teaches you this whole process. And the other book is called Wisdom on the Other Side of Knowledge. And that was actually written for atheists, believe it or not. That was written for atheists, people who are very intellectual and not spiritual, and people who don't even believe in God. So God loves humanity so much that he brought through 2 books that tell the same information but worded completely differently. So if God Hears Me, I Want an Answer, or Wisdom on the Other Side of Knowledge. Those books are really easy reads and they share this whole process with you. But what I just shared with you is the process. So I love you for being here. I'm stoked and excited to hear that you received answers that transformed your life. It's my honor to be of the most positive service to you. That's why I record these videos. I love this. I love making a difference in your life. You rock. You're awesome. Thank you so much for being here. And I will see you very soon when I record my next video. Sending you all the love in my heart.